What's happening, everybody? It's Sean with Reactions to the Classics. Today we got a reaction to Later with Jools Holland, Top 10 Performances, brought to us by a friend, longtime supporter and patron of the channel, Richard. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate you. Appreciate all the patrons who make this thing go. If you'd like to support us in any way, check out that Patreon link below or the Patreon link on the end screen. We could not do it without our patrons. All right. I know a little bit of, I've seen some performances from Later with Jools Holland, and they're always fantastic. So I was so happy that Richard brought this. This had to be an unbelievable undertaking to put together. But a little background, if you don't know a lot about it, like me, I'm from the United States. Later with Jools Holland is a contemporary British music television show hosted by, yeah, you probably figured that out, right? Jools Holland. A spinoff of The Late Show. It has been running in short series since October of 1992. And features a mixture of both established and new musical artists, from solo performers to bands and larger ensembles. The show is considered an institution, having millions of fans around the world. Later draws from a diverse palette of both popular and world music, and each show features around 5 bands with a variety of styles performing for each other and a studio audience of around 300 people. Jools Holland introduces the show and interviews one or more of the performers. A unique feature is the short jam session that begins each show, involving all of his invited guests, along with Jools on the piano. This beginning jam session also best shows the unusual layout of the set. All the bands are arrayed in a circle, with the audience filling in the gaps between them. Holland often accompanies his guest performances. Over time, these jam sessions have changed. The end of the hour-long show ends with a jam session now, and Jools accompanies relatively few artists in comparison to earlier seasons. In 2000, so a long time taping this, almost to the end of 2024, the series was ranked at number 81 in the British Film Institute's list of the BFI TV 100, listing the top 100 British programs of the 20th century. Wow, high praise. All right, the music, and in this case, the videos, won't be in the video itself here on YouTube because it's going to get blocked, but it's going to be in a Vimeo link down below. If you're going to watch this, you got to watch it that way, right? So click on that, follow along with us. Let's kick this thing off. And you can see it below. I'll bring up the Spotify songs. We're not going to listen to the Spotify version so you see what I'm talking about. We got the Coral, Dreamin' of You, from the Coral album in 2002. They're an English rock band formed in 1996. Their 2000 debut album, this one, was nominated for the Mercury Music Prize and listed as the 4th best album of the year by NME. Their second album, Magic and Medicine, in 2003, produced 4 top 20 UK singles. In 2008, after guitarist Bill Ryder-Jones left the band, they continued as a 5-piece. They had 12 studio albums. This was the 3rd single taken from the album and charted at number 13 on the UK singles charts. In October of 2011, NME placed it at number 85 on its list of 150 best tracks of the past 15 years. I don't know this band at all, so I'm looking forward to this one. All right, thanks again, Richard. All right, really good song. I mean, all kinds of instrumentation packed into like a little over 2 minutes. Paul Skelly on lead vocals really pulls you in, but yeah, man, that was a great first offering on this countdown. Next up at number 9, we got Kings of Leon, The Bucket, from the Aha Shake Heartbreak album in 2004. I don't know about them. They're an American rock band formed in Tennessee in 1999. Includes brothers Caleb, Nathan, and Jared Falwell, and their cousin Matthew Falwell. The band's early music was a blend of southern rock and garage rock with blues influences, but it has evolved throughout the years to include a variety of music genres and a more alternative rock-based sound. They achieved initial success in the UK with 9 top 40 singles and 2 Brit Awards in 2008, and all 3 of the band's albums at the time peaked in the top 5 of the UK albums charts. After the release of Only the Night in September of 2008, the band achieved chart success in the US. The singles Sex on Fire, Use Somebody, which was huge, and Notion all peaked at number 1 on the Hot Modern Rocks chart. The album was their first platinum-selling album in the US and the best-selling album of 2008 in Australia, being certified 9 times platinum there. They won 4 Grammys from 12 nominations, including Record of the Year for Use Somebody in 2010. They got 9 studio albums. This song was the lead single, one of the most successful singles, reaching 16 in the UK singles chart, making it their most successful UK release at that time, and 23 in the US modern rock chart. In Australia, it was number 31 on the year-end chart. The song is written about bassist Jared Falwell, who's the youngest member in the band, dealing with the band's fame at the age of 17. The song was written by Caleb Falwell, Nathan Falwell, Jared Falwell, and Matthew Falwell. There's all the guys. In 2011, NME placed it at number 38 on its list of the 150 best tracks of the past 15 years. All right, a song I had never heard before. I mean, I know who Kings of Leon are, but a really well done song. You know, all we need is a guitars, bass, and drums, and I like that sound, man. I like the full band sound and all kinds of other stuff too, but like we had in the first song. But I also like this. His voice is obviously well suited to this, so a good one. Next up at number 8, we got Arctic Monkeys. I Bet That You Look Good on the Dance Floor. From, of course, the album Whatever People Say I Am. That's What I'm Not in 2006, their debut. Was the band's debut single, written by frontman Alex Turner, debuted at number 1 on the UK singles charts. It remains one of the band's best-known songs in the UK. They performed at the opening ceremonies of the 2012 Summer Olympics. It was ranked at number 7 on NME's list of the 500 greatest songs of all time. All right, Arctic Monkeys. Eventually they hit it big in the US, but nothing like they did in the UK, right? Alex Turner and the boys just looking like they should be hanging out at the mall or something, not banging out something like this. The guitar works fantastic. Obviously just a banger of a song. Except for number 7, we got Iggy Pop, Lust for Life, from the Lust for Life album in 1977, which I'll get to in a minute. It's not when this is from. Rolling Stone ranked it at 325 in their 500 greatest songs of all time, co-written by Iggy and the great David Bowie, who wrote it on a ukulele. Yes, sir. The song is known for its opening drum beat, played by Hunt Sales. Not in this, though. The rhythm was based on the Armed Force Network's call signal, which Pop and Bowie picked up while waiting for a broadcast of Starsky and Hutch. I barely remember Starsky and Hutch. That's how old that is. Sales' use of the rhythm was not original, as it was derived from You Can't Hurry Love, released in July '66 by the Supremes, and I'm Ready for Love, released in 1966 by Martha and the Vandellas. Lust for Life gained renewed popularity in the late 1990s. That's what brings us to this. After being featured in the 1996 British film Trainspotting. It was heavily featured in the film's marketing campaign and subsequent soundtrack, resulting in a new UK chart peak of number 26 after being reissued as a single. All right, man, let's get it. All right, Lust for Life. By far the best performance, just in the fact that Iggy, even after all these years, could just flat out bring it there in the mid to late 90s when this performance is from. He couldn't wear a shirt, but he had the blazer on. He gave you a little tease, but he kept, you go home with that gimmick that Iggy had. You could never gain weight, man. He'd be a slave to it. He's just like everywhere. I like the start of it. I liked how he let his band shine, and then he knew how to make an entrance and even had his guitarist introduce him, right? Like it was just a well done professional performance. So much fun and so much energy, man. Camera trying to follow him everywhere. Loved it. All right, next up at number 6, we got Paolo Nutini and his song Last Request from the These Streets album in 2006. He's a Scottish singer-songwriter from Paisley. His debut album, These Streets, peaked at number 3 on the UK albums chart. His follow-up, Sunny Side Up, debuted at number 1 on the UK albums chart. 5 years later, he released his third studio album, Caustic Love, in April 2014, which, of course, debuted at number 1 on the UK albums charts. In 2022, he released his 4th album, Last Night in the Bittersweet. Among other accolades, he's received 3 Brit Award nominations, a Novello Award nomination for songwriting, those 4 studio albums. And I do have a song reaction to one of his songs up. All right, let's get it. And this was his debut single, went to 5 in the UK and 1 in Scotland. I mean, just his fantastic voice, an acoustic and a piano. That's all you need. Like his voice was the showcase. What a live performance, man. What a live performance. Now we're going to kick off the top half of this list at number 5. Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats, S.O.B, from the album of the same name, self-titled Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats in 2015, their debut. He's an American singer and songwriter based in Denver, Colorado, whose influences are described as folk, Americana, and vintage rhythm and blues. He's performed with a backing band called the Night Sweats for an R&B side project he formed in 2013. He's released 3 solo albums, 2 solo EPs, and 1 album as Nathaniel Rateliff and The Wheel. This is the lead single from their self-titled debut album, 36 in Canada, number 1 in the U.S. adult alternative songs. He said that the song is at heart a troubled song about drinking one's life away after a breakup, and explained that the lyrics are based on his personal experience with delirium tremens during alcohol withdrawal. He also described it as a joke song and said that originally his band did not plan to record it, but due to positive reception, he did so and released it as a single. It's been in all kinds of movies. It was in a Lipton iced tea commercial. So I wonder if I know it just because of that. All right, that song was fire. That performance was incredible. I really feel like I recognize him. He might have shown up in another top 10 Richard did. I don't know, man. I really feel like I know this guy. He looked exactly like what I thought he would. I mean, it's just the power, his dancing, the guy playing the trumpet in the background with one hand with his other hand behind his back. Like, it was quite the performance, man. Quite the performance. Next up, number 4, we got the Zutons. Valerie from Tired of Hanging Around in 2006, their second studio album. They're an English indie rock band formed in 2002 in Liverpool, 3 studio albums. The song was later covered by Mark Ronson with lead vocals provided by Amy Winehouse, reaching number 2 on the UK singles chart in 2007. In an interview with The Scotsman in May 2008, lead singer Dave McCabe described the writing process of this song. He said, quote, "I could tell you I was inspired by gazing out across the Mersey or walking past Macca's old house. But the truth is, I got the idea in a cab on the way to my mom's. The whole song was written before I got there, so 20 minutes max." The song's title and theme refer to a then unnamed American friend of McCabe's who was in trouble for driving under the influence. The band's drummer Sean Payne called it a musical postcard to her, saying he is having a hard time and can she come over and see him. In an interview with Vice magazine in June 2019, so we're fast forwarding a ways, the subject of the song was revealed to be a celebrity makeup artist Valerie Starr. She explained that she met McCabe and how she got arrested for driving on a suspended license. 32 in Ireland, 8 in Scotland, 9 in the UK. All right, Valerie, just a powerhouse both instrumentally and vocally. He just does a fantastic job there. We have 3 songs left, but I'll tell you what these 7 songs have in common, the first 7 that we've done here. Not only are they great performances, but they're also great songs. You got the double whammy here, so great stuff. 3 left. Number 3, we got the White Stripes, My Doorbell. Get Behind Me, Satan in 2005, their 5th studio album. Second single, 8 in New Zealand, 11 in Scotland, 10 in the UK, 13 in the US alternative airplay. It got a 2006 Grammy nomination for Best Performance by Duo or Vocal in a Group. I don't know this song. Let's get it. All right, Meg and Jack White bringing it with My Doorbell, accompanied by Jools over there playing a mean Wurlitzer electric piano. That was just a fun jam, seeing that whole thing. It was shot very well. The cinematography on these are very well done. That one was particularly well done, but Jack's voice very powerful, and that unique sound they can make as a 2-piece, or in this case, a 3-piece, was quite the treat. Next up at number 2, we got Pearl Jam Alive off the 10 album in 1991. Debut single written by guitarist Stone Gossard. It originated as an instrumental titled Dollar Short and was included on a demo tape circulated in hopes of finding a singer for the group. Vocalist, of course, Eddie Vedder obtained a copy of the tape, wrote lyrics that described a somewhat fictionalized account of the time when he was told that the man he thought was his father was not actually his biological parent. If you want more on that, we have a whole album review up of this album, and I go into this story and everything else and how they came about and how Eddie got in the band. Go check that out after this. Just type Pearl Jam in that search bar above. It charted at number 16 in the UK, number 9 in Australia. The single was available only through import in the US, so it was unable to chart on the Billboard Hot 100. It did peak at 16 on the album Rocks chart and number 18 on the Modern Rock Tracks chart. Total Guitar ranked this 26th on the 100 hottest guitar solos of all time, and Guitar World had it at number 44 on the 100 greatest guitar solos. High praise. All right, now there's guitar solos, and there's what Mike was laying down there, Mike McCready. That was incredible, literally playing it behind his back. Obviously, this is many years later, and it's one of the marks of a fantastic band that you can still make this song, no pun intended, yeah, there kind of is, feel alive after you performed it probably thousands of times, literally, right? Just a fantastic performance. Now we get to number 1, R.E.M. Night Swimming off the iconic Automatic for the People album in 1992. 5th single, 27 in the UK. I never knew this song until one of our patrons years ago, one of our OG patrons, shout out to Massey's Main Entertainment, got a YouTube channel of his own, but Brian brought this and I'm like, damn, this song is fantastic. So 27 UK, not even released in the US. The song is a ballad featuring Michael Stipe, accompanied only by bassist Mike Mills on the piano, a string arrangement by former Led Zepp bassist, of course, the great John Paul Jones, and oboe by Deborah Workman in the latter part of the piece. Mills wrote the music and Stipe the lyrics of the song, but it is credited to the entire band. Stipe sings about a group of friends who go skinny dipping at night, which draws from similar experiences in the band's early days. R.E.M. guitarist Peter Buck recalled in 2003 that, quote, Stipe listened once, nodded his head to hear it again, and on the second pass, he sang the lyrics. It was Night Swimming, exactly like the record we would record a year later. I was standing in the corner, dumbfounded. And that's the way they wrote. If you want to know more about R.E.M., just type R.E.M. up there. We've got tons of stuff up on them. 2021, listed at 160 on Rolling Stone's 500 greatest songs of all time. And number 1, on Richard's greatest live performances on Jools Holland, R.E.M. Night Swimming. All right, Night Swimming. The piano melody on this song with Michael's raw vocals is just an ultra powerful combination, even though, there's not a ton to this song. It's just so well done and a great choice at number 1 for Richard. All right, now I get to my favorites. Look, this list is fantastic, and I'm sure there's 100 great performances and more that were left off just because, there's only 10 here. So Richard did a great job. I mean, I liked them all, borderline loved them all, but I try to get it down to 5 because sometimes on Richard's, I give like 7, 8 faves. I got it down to 5. Iggy Pop, Lust for Life. I mean, you got to go for that, the energy. Nathaniel Ratliff and the Night Sweats. S.O.B, man, that song was catchy. One-handed trumpet player at the dancing and just the energy. White Stripes, My Doorbell. I mean, having Jools in there on the electric piano was fantastic. Pearl Jam Alive, that kind of live guitar solo will never get old. And then this last song, Night Swimming. Michael's power on those vocals was just fantastic. And, when I described how the show is, I think there's power in that, right? That I read where there's, usually around 5 bands on there. So in there with your peers, so to speak, even if they're not as famous as you have to kind of feel like, you see somebody before you bring it, like you got to really bring it. I love that. There's nothing like that here in the U.S. Our only live music performance that I know of is on our public broadcasting system, Austin City Limits. Still a fantastic show. It's in close to its 50th season, maybe 47, 48, I don't know. But nothing like this. And I wish we had something like this over the years in the U.S. But great list. Let me know what you think of it down below. What was your favorite performance that was on here? And then if you have a different favorite performance from Jools, let me know because I'll go watch it. All right, guys, until next time, I will see you.